The audience.
Yep.
Okay, I have my audience here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is for Eugene. Okay.
Education. This is a fundamental of our livelihood. Imagine a country with special cultural background, having 2 colonial masters. Cameroon is one of those. We have an English or Anglo-saxon form of education. We have a French form of education. My topic today is boiled down to the Anglo-saxon form of education. The Anglo-saxon form of education in Cameroon is divided into 3 sections. We have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary level. Predating back to pre-colonial time as in 1977 by Dr. Conrad George. Form of education in Cameroon was mostly by folklore, the essay, talking to the people, oral, and very few elites were able to write. And Cameroon, with a diverse culture of around 240 dialects, that was a very pretty hard nutshell to bring in. After the Germans, we had the British and the French, and that is from where we have our educational system. The Anglo-Saxon form of education, we have the primary section, which is normally having a nursery school or not, depending on where you're situated in a rural or urban region. Nursery school is mostly in urban region, and that is mostly for those who have the money to pay for. We have 2 years of that, in which after that you go into the primary education section, which you have 7 years. The secondary education level is also divided into 7 years, where you have 5 years for secondary school, you have 2 years for high school. Tertiary level, there is no really fixed date. It depends on how fast you do your program and how far you want to go in your program. We normally have the 3 years for bachelor's, unfortunately no associate. 2 more years for your bachelor's, you get your master's, and 2 more years to that you get your PhD or doctorate degree. We will now dive into the different categories, and we will explain every category in detail. Primary education, we have 7 years. The first 5 years is more of like getting acquainted with different languages. English, French, geography, and other subjects. When you get to the 6th year, you can decide to write the first public exam, which is the common entrance and the first school living certificates. If you should pass those, you will then be promoted into our secondary level of education, which is 7 years, divided into 2 systems. The first 5 years is called normal secondary school. Government schools try by all means not to have school fees, so people can get into this section. Unfortunately, PTA, Parents Teachers Association, levies on school books and uniforms make it a little bit difficult for some parents to send their children to secondary school. In secondary school, in the first year, you have 3 years where you do the general studies, 2 years you specialize, whether you're doing arts or science, and then you write the first or public exam. In this one, in case the results will be announced on public radio and printed in the national newspapers. If you should have more than 5 papers with a combination, you're able to get into the secondary system, high school, which is 2 years. You're separated into arts and science. You do a minimum of 3 papers and a maximum of 5 subjects. If you should also pass this, which follows the same route, announced on public radio and printed in the national newspapers, you will then move into the tertiary section. Tertiary section is provided mostly on levy. If you do not meet the restrictions of the university, you will not be admitted. Cameroon education system in the tertiary level has, in the last years, seen a big amount of brain drain. This was cited by Vice Chancellor Professor Ducat. Most people, because of how expensive it is and the fact that they do not have that much in the Anglo-Saxon section, apart from 2 universities, propel people to leave the country. The Anglo-Saxon universities, we have just 2 of them, one in Boya and the growing one which is coming up in Bamenda. The university in Boya has put itself, as of now, in a big national level, and you have 3 years to have your bachelor's degree. Unfortunately, no associate degree. After having your bachelor's degree, you can add 2 years to it to get a master's, and 2 more years to get your doctorate degree. We can all see that because of the system in the country, we have 2 systems, English, French, and due to the laws which have been placed, they are trying as of now to make sure that more people are educated and get into the tertiary section of education in Cameroon. We all know education is a very good thing, and we are hoping that the laws which have been put in place will thereby make more people get into this section of education and increase the literacy level in Cameroon. Thank you all today for listening, and